you're wondering right now, we are doing a video review for Batman Arkham Origins. And we will start off with the story.
Let's talk about the story of Batman Arkham Origins. This game takes place Christmas Eve in Gotham City. The majority of Gotham City, to be specific.
Yes.
Now, Bruce Wayne has only been Batman for 2 years, and he's a little bit more of an aggressive Batman. He's not really the same Batman from the other Arkham games.
Yes. Because he's a lot younger, and he doesn't care as much about the thugs because they're really corrupt. As far as that and the police, we'll get to that in a minute. And since it's early in his career, a lot of people don't believe he exists, as he's a myth, right? So they're like, the Batman, whatever, they'll just scoff. And then in the beginning of the game, you see the shadow of Batman, and they're like, ah, it's the Batman, he's real, and I just like that a lot in the game. So
yeah.
Don't hurt me. I heard the rumors, but you're not supposed to be.
Now, because this has really been only 2 years, and people don't think he's just a myth right now, this also means that the GCPD is really against Batman at this time, since he's never really became friends with Commissioner Gordon at this point. In fact, he's not even the commissioner of the police at this point.
Right, he's just lieutenant, I think.
I think lieutenant. I think he's a lieutenant.
Lieutenant Gordon, which kind of confused me, to be honest.
And an important part in this story is that Black Mask has hired 8 assassins to kill Batman for one night only, and whoever does it gets $50 million.
And let me tell you, that's a lot of money. So whoever kills him gets that much.
And Batman finds...
And it's not even villains. It's also the cops. Like, in particular, SWAT.
Yeah, some of the corrupt cops.
Which is
also
SWAT. I don't know why it has to be SWAT. Whatever.
I don't know, but anyway, Batman finds this out about this bounty when he defeats Killer Croc at the very early of the game, and then he sets out to stop these assassins and the Black Mask.
Yeah, and the other thing we should touch on about the story really quick is this game is a lot of first encounters for a lot of big villains and characters for Batman, like we stated before. Commissioner Gordon is not friendly with Batman yet, so some of his villains are going to be first encounters and first times he meets them and hears about them. So that's what I really liked about the game as far as the story goes.
This is also the first time he runs into the Joker.
Right, that was really the big point.
Which is really
so you'll be satisfied with that. I will guarantee you. And this isn't Rocksteady. This is WB Montreal doing this, mind you. So,
for those who don't know, WB is Warner Brothers.
Yes. So moving on to the gameplay. Not much has changed in the combat, and me personally, that's not a bad thing. With the free flow combat system making its return, it's as the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So there are noticeable differences though between Origins and City, and I will note that in the beginning of the game you do start off with gadgets that you did not start off with in the previous games, probably because Batman was more prepared this time than he was the last time. Because in the beginning you see him getting ready, going out, whereas in this one he's, he wasn't captured. So he was more prepared, which makes sense, honestly, now that I think about it. So you start off with, obviously batarangs.
I mean, those are the essentials.
Bat claw, and also combo takedowns, and the remote batarang, and explosive gel. So that's just important to know. And Donovan, you can carry on from here.
Well, one of the more noticeable gadgets in this game are the shock gloves that you get from the Electrocutioner. With this, you can beat up pretty much every single enemy type. However, it's not exactly right at the start. You have to fight a little while,
right.
And then, they're charged.
So it's not like, I can just turn on my gloves and just own you all. No, there is a little bit.
There's a little time to it.
and touch on how the combat works and how scoring and XP goes. This time around, as far as the combat goes, I'm going to touch on the way you get rewarded XP is the higher the combo, the more XP you get, and you get bonuses as well for using more gadget variations like you did in the other games, like just free flow bonus. So you'll get graded on a letter, like A being like a really good vigilante, and S is like perfect or something. And yeah, so I really like that. That was interesting. So it's not just just getting XP by doing missions. So that was cool. There's also case files you can do, solving cases and other things. And crimes in progress, usually the police will radio in because you hacked into their thing and got their radio signal, and they'll tell you when crimes in progress are happening. So you'll stop those even after you beat the game. So I thought that was cool.
And another interesting point to point out is that in detective mode, you can actually see the crime actually
taking place
in
a digital version.
In a digital version.
And Batman talks to himself, of course, through the process, which actually is really cool because he used to be known as the world's greatest detective before he was known as the Dark Knight. So,
all right. Now let's talk about these boss battles. There's some that are like similar to the Arkham series boss battle, but there are some that really take the combat system into account, and they really try to focus on that and make that, hey, this is Batman and this is how he fights. One noticeable one that I noticed was Deathstroke's boss battle. I enjoyed this one, even though it was just most of it was counter, punch, counter and beat down, but really it was a lot of fun. It actually took a little time, actually.
It did. It was just fun to watch, even though it was just a bunch of countering and punching. I mean, really, that's all you're really doing as Batman anyway. And the other boss battle that I really enjoyed, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the Copperhead one, it was just very interesting. I'm not going to say too much because it's very kind of late in the game, so I'm not going to say too much on that one. If Donovan wants to say anything, then he can say something right now.
If you're effective in the combat system, you can beat these bosses fairly easy.
I will say that Bane is probably the hardest in my opinion.
Well, you have to find him. Spoiler, more than once. You have to find him more than once.
Yeah, we're just gonna say that. So,
but how many total?
We won't tell you. And how that's executed, you'll have to find out yourself.
So let's move on to the voice acting, specifically of Batman and Joker.
Alright. So some of you probably just don't care who these people are, but it's worth noting that these voice actors are really great people, and they really did a good job. Batman, the voice that did Batman was Roger Craig Smith, and I think he did an excellent job executing Kevin Conroy's voice mixed with Christian Bale's Dark Knight voice in a kind of funny, humory way. He really did a great job with the tone, making it a younger, more aggressive Batman. And the reason I say Dark Knight Christian Bale is because sometimes he'll be like, "Where's Cobblepot? Tell me where the data is," and stuff like that. And it was just kind of funny. But he wasn't like over-exaggerating with it. So it was a nice balance.
Truly sounded like a younger version of Batman.
It's like Christian Bale without the major raspiness.
Talk, or you won't be walking anywhere, ever. No way! You gotta answer for dropping me off that rooftop, buddy! No, you have to answer to me. How does this disruptor work? Ask one of the pigs! They got it in evidence lockup! How about we take a little walk up to the roof? Okay, you win! It jams weapons, overrides electronic locks, alright? Now you gotta let me go! How'd that work out for you last time?
If you don't mind, I would mind if I talk about
the Joker and Troy Baker.
All right.
I'll talk about him too, but you can go first.
One of my favorite Jokers of all time is the Mark Hamill Joker from the previous Arkham games and the animated series. So they found probably just as good as a Joker for his replacement in Troy Baker. I don't know Troy Baker as much as
Right.
Ryan does, but he's been in a lot of games apparently.
Yeah.
And
He's a phenomenal voice actor. I'm just gonna say that right
Yeah.
there. If some people refer to him as Nolan North because he did the voice of Deadpool for many years, and honestly, Troy Baker does a really good job at portraying a younger Joker yet again. That's what they were looking for in these games, and he was just hilarious.
it almost sounded like at some points
Yeah,
that
it
it did
almost
sound
sounded
like
like Mark Hamill, and that's again what they were going for. But they didn't want to copy these voice actors because they have their own twist. And with being a voice actor and doing these games and animated series, because there'll be spin-offs and other things, they don't want to copy these characters. So the way they portray their Joker is kind of a mix between their own and the original, depending on what project you're doing. So
Nice of you to drop in. And just in time.
He's mine, Paraso.
Remember, you gave your word.
You have 1 minute.
Do they even have manners where he comes from?
I think they did a great job. So moving on.
Now, before we get to our next topic, I want to mention something
Okay.
about the multiplayer.
Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
Now, the multiplayer is only one game mode. In this game mode, you play as either 3 Joker goons, 3 Bane goons, you know what I'm talking about, goons,
Or
the henchmans.
Or Joker himself.
At some point in the game, you could actually play as the boss himself,
Yeah, that goes for either side, Bane or Joker.
Bane or Joker. And while
And-
those two are battling it out, there's 2 players who play as Batman and Robin, and
Batman and Robin.
their goal is to, just take down as many enemies as possible
Right.
before there's no more lives left for either team.
Yeah.
It's a fun multiplayer,
It is.
but
But
unfortunately,
sadly,
there's
there's
not
not
that
a lot
many
of people
players.
playing it, and for me personally, this is part of the cons. So I'll just address it right now since we're talking about it.
let's first talk about some of the pros,
The
things
pros-
that make
okay.
this game really
I'll,
good.
we'll go through that first. So, 1, free flow combat system is great. It's not broke. Don't fix it. It works. It makes sense.
Mhm.
Very great story, especially in my opinion.
And the game is not too short,
No,
nor
especially-
is it too long.
Especially, I will note this: if you do the side missions along with the story,
Oh, then you'll be.
it'll take.
It'll
It
take
took
you a long
me
time.
over 20 hours. Like honestly,
It took me 8 hours, so I really didn't do
You,
the side missions.
you just
He
wanted-
did.
You just wanted to
He
get to
did.
the story, and then you told me to stop and get to the story because the story was really good.
It was.
So
Also, these boss fights are incredibly fun,
yeah,
and
yeah.
also for
They're
crying out-
intense.
and,
like really,
and for crying out loud, this is a Batman game, people.
it's Batman. Come on.
Now let's talk about some of the bad things about this.
Yeah, the cons.
First of all, we wish that some of these villains had a bigger role.
yes.
Specifically, we're talking about some of the 8 assassins. Some of them didn't really.
We're not
get
gonna
as much
tell
time.
you really who in particular, but we will go over like one in particular character that we felt needed to be a bigger role. For
in
me,
terms of the main story.
it doesn't really compromise the story, so don't worry about spoiling. It's just we're just gonna tell you what we felt. For me personally, I felt like Deathstroke should have been a bigger character, since they kind of made him a big deal.
yeah,
a little bit. I mean,
Since with the trailers and
I mean, come
whatnot,
on, like,
being
it's
able to
kinda
play
like,
as him, maybe
you
he
know.
should have had a bigger role. I thought Deadshot would have also had a bigger role in this game.
Yeah, they kind of yeah.
Yeah, he. I mean,
It's
he's-
not. It's not good. Horrible. It doesn't make the game any like
Mhm.
horribly worse. Because dude, it's a great game.
Yeah, let's get through some of these other cons. We still wish that the multiplayer had a little bit.
left-handed controls for me to
Yeah,
to
the
make
guy
it
who plays
easier for
Vernon.
easier for me to play. Like they do have inverted controls, but it's just not on the left side of the controller, like for shooting and stuff. So I just wish that would
Either way, we also still wish there were more people. who
more
played it.
people playing. I mean, hopefully there will be more in the future, but we don't know that.
There were some game glitches and crashes that were
that
problem in the main
really,
story.
really problematic for most people across all consoles and PC. Some people couldn't even play the game and progress, and their saves got corrupt. For me, it crashed a couple of times, and that was it. There was one
I think
glitch.
it did once for
There
me.
was one glitch for me, which was the elevator glitch. You fall through the elevator and you just fall forever.
And then, of course...
Then I will know that, sorry to cut you off, that they did fix some of these. The frame rate issue is still there, but the glitches and the corrupt saves and most of the freezes are taken care of. So that kind of makes it, makes me feel better about my score. So I give this personally a 9.5 out of 11. A note 11 means being above rest of most games, being unique, and being above the rest. So 9.5 out of 11. Donovan uses the 1 out of 10 scale, which is the normal scale.
And what he means by that is that I'm not giving this a 1 out of 10.
Right.
I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. It's not as good as Arkham City in my opinion, but it's a very fun game.
Yes, if you're a fan of the Arkham series, then I would recommend getting this game, especially
or any just action game.
Right. Like, this is a great one. This has defined the superhero genre, and I feel like this could make other games be more ambitious.
Indeed. Well, that's all the time we have right now. I'm in a wheelchair. I in Cubone Studios.
And we will see you later. Please subscribe and have a great day.
And before we go, if you're interested in seeing more content, subscribe, like, all that stuff. Leave comments suggesting what you want us to do next. Thank you for watching.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Miller, also known as I'm in a W chair, and today I'm going to be talking about what can we expect from next gen and future. That doesn't even make sense. Future games. I'm going to restart this video because I messed up. Future doesn't even make sense at all. Alright, hey guys, this is Ryan, and I am here today to do a review, finally, and I just said, so I'm just gonna, stop the video right now, because I'm gonna not, every second. Thanks. What's up, guys? I am Ryan Miller, coming to you today to do a review for Batman Arkham Origins. As you can see from that clip that I showed, that I am doing the Batman game review, finally. Excuse me. I know I'm a little late to the party. Dang it, I did again. I need to quit saying Dang it. A little bit, and then...
I see what you mean.
Are you recording this? Oh.